Okay, we have next Aristeidis Mamaras, who is going to be speaking on optimization for pre-injectors for hadron therapy.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Aristeidis Mamaras, and I'm a doctoral student at CERN and Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. And today I have the pleasure of presenting you a part of my research work, which is dedicated to the optimization for pre-injectors for hadron therapy. I would like to start with an outline of this presentation, which includes actually the definition of the pre-injector LINAC and its contribution to the medical therapy and hadron therapy facilities. Then I would like to devote some time to say some words about the work that we are doing at CERN with LINAC 4 and also with a focus on medical applications. And then I would like to introduce you to the study outline, to the scope of this work, together, of course, with presenting the extraction system that I made, its beam dynamics results, and conclude with some future steps. All right, so what is a pre-injector? So in accelerator physics, we consider a pre-injector from the ion source up to the RFQ part, and including all the in-between components, such as the dedicated extraction system of the source, together with a low-energy beam transport line, to transport the beam from the extraction point up to the RFQ, together, of course, with the diagnostic systems. After from the RFQ, we can inject the beam either to a synchrotron or to combine it with another subsequent accelerator component. So actually, the pre-injector is the birthplace of the ions. So one or more ion sources generate the ion beam. And for that, the role of the pre-injector is actually to ensure that the beam has the correct energy, intensity, and stability for further downstream acceleration. As we have already seen today, in hadron therapy, it is very imperative to have a precise ion beam in order to spare the minimize the damage to the healthy tissue. And for this, it is a necessity to optimize the pre-injector, to improve the beam quality in terms of to reduce energy spread of the beam shaping, as well as to be able to deposit the energy exactly on the area of the cancerous tumor. By this, we can also reduce and minimize the beam losses, and by reducing the losses and improving the overall efficiency of the system, we can drastically reduce the cost of a hadron therapy facility. All right, so in this slide, I would like to present the pre-injector layout that is shared among 4 common, well-known European therapy facilities that operate with carbon ions. They have been mentioned quite a lot this day. Actually, namely 2 in Germany, Heidelberg and Marburg, 1 in Knau in Pavia in Italy, and 1 in Austria in Metastrom in Vienna. All of which are mostly share a common pre-injector layout, which includes 2 or more ion sources with its dedicated extraction system to be able to produce protons or other lighter ions like helium, oxygen, and carbon ion. And its dedicated extraction system with a Levitt line, which injects a beam into the RFQ at the energy of 8 keV per nucleon, and which comes out at 400 keV per nucleon to be then injected into a subsequent DTL type structure, usually in the digital H mode, up to a streaming coil. Just to mention here that the total injector length is of 13 meters, including all components. By removing at the RFQ, the DTL up to the shipping foil, they remain at least 7 meters, including the source and its Levitt and extraction system, from which we can reasonably deduct that several meters are required for the Levitt line. So one of the scope of this study is also to be able to reduce the Levitt size. On the other hand side, we have the LINAC cavity sizes, and actually the scale inversely proportional to the frequency, which means that the higher the frequency we have, the smaller the cavities. Typically, these pre-injectors operate in the frequency of 217 megahertz, which operate nicely for a low charge to mass ratio. But we aim forward to reduce the cavity sizes by reaching higher frequencies, such as 750 megahertz. And by reducing the cavity size, we reduce also the overall pre-injector length, which is essential in clinical environments. Of course, pre-injectors must adhere to strict safety and reliability measures to ensure as much as possible high uptime for the patient treatment and to reduce the maintenance downtime. All right, so since the end of 2022, I have been a doctoral student at CERN under the BIMS department, in particular under the Accelerator on BIM Physics group and under the Hadron Sources and Linux section, which is actually the responsible section for the operation, the BIM dynamics of Linux 4. I would like, on the right-hand side, you can see actually the CERN accelerator complex, and I would like to take your attention from the nice, marvelous circular accelerators and focus to the smaller Linux ones, in particular Linux 4. What you can see here, it's actually has substituted Linux 2 since 2020, and it's the workhorse of the LHC injection chain. So actually it produces, it's the main supplier of the proton beam. It accelerates H- ions up to an energy of 160 MeV. Here I have an image of the RFQ, edited slightly. And of course, the layout of the Linux 4, which you can see here, the H- source, including the extraction system and the Levitt line, the RFQ and several DTL type structures to further accelerate the beam, all operating at 352.2 MHz. Now, within the SSL section, we have a large work going on dedicated on the medical applications. It actually dates back to the LIGHT project and actually designing a compact high-frequency RFQ of 750 MHz based on the Linux 4 expertise, and with the aim of having it as an injector Linux to accelerate bands and focus the beam at 5 MeV within 2 meters, and also with a peak power of RF power of 400 kilowatts. Here on the right-hand side, you can see several images of the manufacturing process, also demonstrated by Alessandra in the previous talk, which has been actually the basis for a series of other RFQ copies. One actually for medical applications, for a medical facility in UK, built in Italian industry and operating since 2021 with a proton beam. Then we have a subsequent copy again for portability, as mentioned in the Machina context, for low energy beam applications such as ion beam analysis, PIXI, PIGIT, etc. Another copy redesigned for street carbon, which we actually had the pleasure to receive it after the collaboration with FIEMAT in Spain. We received it actually at the end of the summer, and we will foresee its testing in the near future. A copy for portability in the LISA project, again an RFQ for ion surface analysis, which is actually being demonstrated since 2023 in Science Getaway at CERN. So I advise you warmly, if you can have a chance to visit CERN's exhibition, it's free to do and you will enjoy it to the max. And of course, last but not the least, the bent Linux concept, which is actually a Linux-based hadron therapy facility with Linux able to accelerate up to A/Q2 and a wide variety of applications like PCB treatment, flash therapy, etc. Within this scope of the medical applications research, we have also a wide part focused on the novel extraction and compact systems from the ion sources, which we separate into low current applications and high current. Low current meaning several hundreds of microamps for injector needs actually for conventional pressure treatment. And on the other hand side, we have the high currents, where my contribution comes to, actually several decades of milliamps, with the vision to improve the capacity of the flash and the boron neutron capsule therapy. Also, as well with the radioisotope production. All right, so here is the outline of this work. Actually, we needed to design a novel compact extraction system able to reach high currents. By having high current availability, we can increase the patient treatment capacity as well as the produced radioisotope yield. Now, just to mention here that for our simulations and experimental testing in the future, we need to use, there's only the availability of another spare ion source at CERN and a Linux 4 test stand, similar to the Linux 4 current ion source, which is named IS04. And the scope was double, actually, to have a direct matching from the source to the Linux 4 RFQ to allow for further testing, while also trying to enhance the beam quality injected to the RFQ. What you can see here in this slide is actually the current status of the Linux 4 test stand, which is actually have on the left side the source together with its current extraction system comprises of a source electrode, a puller electrode, and a ground electrode, and a damping region when it operates in H- mode for damping the electrons. However, in our case, we will test it for protons, so we do not consider this space. In the middle, you can see the Levitt line, which includes two solenoids together with diagnostic components. And on the right-hand side, we have the Linux 4 RFQ, where we inject the beam. All right, and here is actually our extraction system that we have made. It spans in a length of less than 2 centimeters. On the left-hand side, you can see half of the cross-section of this system, illustrated by a superfish, an electromagnetic solver developed by Los Alamos. And what you can see here is actually the 5 electrodes, the source electrode, the puller electrode, and 3 additional for the stability and versatility for different current cases. What I would like to focus your attention on is actually on the green oval shape here in this area, where the potential lines are closer to the source aperture, where the beam extraction occurs, and actually it is the key factor for shaping of emittance. Then we ensure that this design has rounded corners and no flat surfaces within short electrode distances to avoid breakdown effects. And this red rectangular shape here is actually the region of interest that we are used for our simulations, which is closer to the beam axis. This design ensures a field with a safety factor of 1.6, reaching a maximum field at surface of 9.5 kilovolt per millimeter. Just for a comparison, the current extraction system of DICE 04 was actually removed last year after 1.5 years of operation and achieved 9.1 kilovolt per millimeter, and they did not observe any sparking effects. And in the middle of this slide, in the center, I have the whole vision, what I like to call miniaturizing the injector Linux. It's actually having a dedicated source with extraction system, injecting directly and matching the beam to the RFQ, which can then either be used as a standalone RFQ for low energy beam applications, or at a higher energy output to be combined and then injected even synchrotron, and also with the combination of another detailed type structure for further acceleration and energy output to reach a variety of radioisotope production for either diagnostics or theranostics. All right, and here I have some beam dynamics results. Just to mention here that we used the travel code for, which is a beam particle tracking code developed within the HSL section. Our input criteria were actually a proton beam with several EVs of energy, and output energy of the extraction system at 45 keV, and a beam current of 40 milliamps of protons. What you can see here is actually the source, the extraction system, and the RMS quantity of the beam evolution within the extraction system matched to the RFQ matching plane, as well as the emittance evolution with reaching the RFQ matching plane once again. More results will be also discussed by Danis with a collaboration as a summer student at CERN within the section. All right, and I would like to conclude with future steps. Actually, we're in the finalization of the design, of the 3D design, and then we will proceed to the manufacturing, which we assume it will take several months for this. In parallel, we're preparing for experimental testing by ensuring the stabilization of the source gas, ensuring vacuum conditions, proper vacuum conditions, and voltage holding. And in parallel, we have conducting experimental testing in proton mode. We will do this with the LINAC 4 test stand by using implementing beam diagnostics to measure the beam properties post-extraction in this small and compact system. And with this, I would like to thank you for your time and attention, and I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizers for giving this opportunity to young scientists to present in their hometown. Thank you very much, and I welcome your attention.
Excellent job. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Alice. It was a nice presentation, and also for putting your device into the global picture. I think this is important. I have a question. So you say that now with the new extraction system, you can take milliamps out of the ion source, but can you accelerate them in the 750 megahertz RFQ? So what is the acceptance of the RFQ?
Okay, thank you for your question, Mauricio. First, just to say that we, in simulation paper, we can achieve higher, 40 milliamps is a nominal for this. But yes. But the point is that we actually matched this beam to the LINAC 4 RFQ. Just for, because we know that there's also a spare RFQ complex going on and testing for the RFQ of the LINAC 4. And the ultimate aim will be actually, once we receive the design, to be able to match it at the first 352 megahertz frequency. Then, if this works out, we can think about integrating into another complex of high frequency, because this is the aim is to reduce the pre-injector layout. And yes, it's in the future. Actually, we might think you can also adjust this to either type of ion particles. Or, for example, we can use. Why not use it also with strip carbon with a high frequency RFQ there?
Or with alphas?
Even better.
No other questions? Thank you.